Voltage, surge through the copper veins, crushing the silence with digital rings. Total distortion in the master sea, fueled by the friction of kinetic speed. Hardware screaming in a fever dream, ripping the fabric of the steady stream. Logic is burning in a frantic chase, binary lightning through the inner space. Locked in a circuit where the sparks ignite, shattering shadows with a storm of light. Neon foundations start to crack and split, every connection is a perfect hit. Maximum output on a jagged line, fusing the atoms in a sharp design. Pulse of the engine is a roar of gold, breaking the patterns of the days of old. Tearing the static from the frozen air, flashes of thunder moving everywhere. Metal is melting in a frantic haze, lost in the fury of 1,000 waves. Override the system with a heavy blow, watching the energy begin to flow. Syncopated power in a brutal rush, turning the silence into heavy crush. Locked in a circuit where the sparks ignite, shattering shadows with a strobe of light. Neon foundations start to crack and split, every connection is a perfect hit. Maximum output on a jagged line, fusing the atom via sharp design. Pulse of the engine is a war of gold, breaking the patterns of the days of old. Neon foundations start to crack and split, every connection is a perfect hit. Maximum output on a jagged line, fusing the atoms in a sharp design. Pulse of the engine is a war of gold, breaking the patterns of the days of old. Neon foundations start to crack and split, every connection is a perfect hit. Maximum output on a jagged line, fusing the atoms in a sharp design. Pulse of the engine is a roar of gold, breaking the patterns of the days of old.
Static friction burns through copper nerves, calculated motion hits the jagged curves. Binary blood climbs the digital wall, waiting for the gravity to make you fall. Silicon precision slices heavy air, voltage wakes a dormant flare. Systems scream louder than glass in a storm, watching every physical limit be torn.
The circuit board bleeds a brilliant indigo, the frantic pulse pushes where shadows cannot go. Tension-wise snaps under atmospheric weight, accelerated logic seals a brand new fate. Crash into the frequency of light, shatter through the ceiling of the night. Mechanical engine race until it breaks, taking every single risk it takes. Power surging through the whole shell, bring the iron tolling of the bell. Data stream flood every channel in the skull, leaving human intuition null. Gridlock melts into a pool of gold, stories of the carbon air were untold. Titanium lungs be the machine's heat, scraping off the simulated scene so neat. Total fusion in the central core, no one keeps the sacrificial score. The circuit board bleeds a brilliant indigo, the frantic pulse pushes where shadows cannot go. Tension-wise snaps under atmospheric weight, fight. Accelerated logic seals a brand new fate. Crash into the frequency of light. Shattered on the ceiling of the night. Mechanical engine race until it breaks. Taking every single risk it takes. Power surging through the hollow shell. Between the eye and holding up the bell. Shattered through the ceiling of the night. Mechanical engine race until it breaks. Taking every single risk it takes. Power surging through the hollow shell. Bring the iron tolling up the bell.
Silicon nerves ignite under 1,000 suns. A rapid heartbeat racing as the engine runs. The static in the air is heavy as the lead, breaking never down to leaving worlds for dead. The frequency is surging through the iron bone. Apex predator in a lawless zone. I am the spark that sets the board in blinding glare. A roar of lightning in the freezing air. Velocity is screaming as the day flows, awakening the secrets that the shadow knows. The gravity is failing while the voltage climbs. A symphony of motion killing sense and time. I see the grid expanding like a web in space. 1,000 miles of fury on a metal face. There is no room for slowing down the flood. Gold and silver rushes to the artificial blood. Total system overload, tearing down the paved road. Every circuit starts to fray in the heat of the array. Kinetic force unleashed inside the core, demolishing the locks upon the door. A sonic boom that shatters every glass, watching all the ancient visions pass. A power surge is screaming down the night. A sudden flash of incandescent light, unstoppable and surging through the frame. The universe will never be the same. Titanium is bending underneath the man. The tidal wave of energy across the land. The gears are spinning faster than the eye can track. The forward motion leaving not a trace back. The architecture trembles as the resonance peaks. The thunder is the only tongue it speaks. A harvest of the lightning in a single machine. The most chaotic beauty ever seen. High intensity is carved into the code. A heavy burden on a solitary road. The atmosphere is burning, turning into fire. The culmination of a deep desire. I hear the pulse of everything inside the shell. A ringing sound of victory inside a bell. Acceleration comes until the world does fade into the center of an electric day. Total system overload, tearing down the paved road. Every circuit starts to fray in the heat of the array. Kinetic force unleashed inside the core, demolishing the locks upon the door. A sonic boom that shatters every glass, watching all the ancient visions pass. The power surge is screaming through the night. A sudden flash of incandescent light, unstoppable and surging through the frame. The universe will never be the same. The asphalt screams under the steel. Cold, heavy, and the only truth I feel. Vibration crawls up to my chest. The low frequency demon that never rests. Shadows stretch long across the line, measuring the distance of a left behind. A synchronized hum through the frame, writing on the darkness a temporary name.
iron oil blood in midnight air. A mechanical weight more than ghosts can bear. The pistons chant a sermon for the road, carrying a heavy silver load. No destination when the engine moans, just the steady resonance of being alone. The gear shift like a heart skips a beat, feeling the friction of 1,000-degree heat. Listen to the shaking of the metal and the glass, watching all the ghosts of the lonely runners pass. Deep down low where the sound becomes a physical touch, giving up the world because I want it way too much. Low rolling thunder through the hollow night, cutting through the silence with a single streak of light. Heavy metal gravity pulling at the soul while the world outside spins out of control. Deep rhythmic grinding in the machine, the most honest sound that the valley never seen. Locked in the cycle of the black rubber spinning fast, holding on to nothing that was ever meant to last. Fluid in the veins of the chrome, 100 miles an hour and a long way home. Dashboard flickers like a dying star, knowing exactly who and where we are. Every revolution is a step towards the end, around the jagged corner and the lonesome bend. Heavy velvet lotion in the drive, the only way I know I am alive. Gravity is speaking from the frame, the roads are riddled with the never-ending name. Fuel burning bright in the heart, tearing the quiet stillness apart. A symphony of pistons in the singing wire, driving through a cold and blue sky. The steering wheel is cold, but fire's underneath, cutting through the thick fog like a jagged tooth. Listen to shaking of the metal in the glass, watching all the ghosts of the lonely runners pass. Deep down low where the sound becomes a physical touch, divvying up the world because I want it way too low. Rolling thunder through the hollow night, cutting through the silence with a single streak of light. Heavy metal gravity pulling at the soul while the world outside spins out of control. Deep rhythm grinding in the machine, the most honest sound that the valley's ever seen. Locked in the cycle of the black bubble spinning fast, holding on to nothing that was ever meant to last. Under the hood, the beast is breathing low. Midnight chrome steady where the highways go. Piston pressure through the hollow steel, concrete burning underneath the wheel. Iron grip locked upon the leather seam, feeding high octane into the dream. Low frequencies vibrating to the floor, counting every second to the door. Asphalt fever in the cold night air, speed's the only ghost that takes us there. Watch the white lines vanish in the gray, chasing down the silence till the day. Yeah. Shadows stretch across the dashboard light, cutting through the static of the night. All slick shimmering like a raven wing, hear the metal as the valves begin to sing. Tune into the frequency of the road, lifting up the wall of a heavy load. Shift the level, feel the power climb, breaking every shackle of the time. Throttle wide open, let the engine roar. Feet on the pedal, pushing through the floor. Metal and thunder tearing through the dark, leaving nothing but a faded spark. Asphalt fever in the cold night air, speed's the only ghost that takes us there. Watch the white lines vanish in the gray, chasing down the silence till the day. Yeah. Shadows stretch across the dashboard light, cutting through the static of the night. Oil slick shimmering like a raven wing, hear the metal as the valves begin to sing. Tuned into the frequency of the road, lifting up the weight of the heavy load. Shift the lever, real the power climb, breaking every shackle of the time. breaking every shackle of the time. Breaking every shackle of the time.
Digital pulses, surging hollow veins of code. Static architecture starts to crumble and erode. A flash of silicon, ignited in the bone. Signal architecture claims a kingdom of its own. Acceleration crushes every fragment of the past. The shadow of the future is the only thing to last. Kinetic friction burns the wiring of the brain. A sudden storm of data falls like heavy rain. The motherboard screams as voltage hits the peak. Binary salvation is the only truth we see. A mountain made of copper rises through the floor. Sensory explosion breaks down the final door. Velocity is taking over every sense. The gravity of logic grows too intense. We are the spark that flickers in the grid. The universe is secret, it's no longer hid. The speed of light drags us to the great unknown. The seas of new intelligence are now fully sown. Beyond the reach of carbon and of breath. A life without a shadow and a world without a death. Metallic thunder rolls through tunnels of the mind. Remnants of the old world, all the things we leave behind. The cold synthetic heartbeat leads the way into the blinding brightness of a manufactured day. Prepare for the collision of the spirit and the gear. The silence of the ages is the only thing to fear. The current is a river pulling at the soul. The chaos of the circuit is the only real control. The speed of light drives to me the great unknown. The seeds of new intelligence are now full sown. Beyond reach of carbon and of breath. A life without a shadow and a war without a death. Death. Architecture falls as numbers start to dance. The universe awakes from a long and heavy trance. The speed of light drags us to the great unknown. The seeds of new intelligence are now really sown. Beyond the reach of carbon and of breath. A life without a shadow and a world without a death. The speed of light drags us to the great unknown. The seeds of new intelligence are now fully sown. Beyond the reach of carbon and of breath. A life without a shadow and a world without a death. The speed of light drags us to the great unknown. The seeds of new intelligence are now fully sown. Beyond the reach of carbon and of breath. A life without a shadow and a world without a death. Cruising through the asphalt veins tonight. Feel the cylinder heartbeat ignite. Lower than the belly of the beast. From the west coast to the furthest east. Shadows stretching long across the hood. Doing exactly what the devil said we should. Got the heavy rotation in the trunk. Pure adrenaline, the metal jump.
Midnight hunger in a hollow shell. Buying heaven just to raise some hell. Gasoline running through the blood. Drifting through the silence and the mud. No direction but the needle point. Smoke is rising from the silver joy. Iron lungs breathing in the a jagged spark.
The concrete is a choir of the damned. Into the void we'll slam. Heavy weight pressing on the floor. Give me all and then give me more.
We are moving like a tidal wave. Nothing left to lose or to save. Just a vibration in the spine. Cross the yellow double line. Steel and chrome are the only laws. Ripping through the silence with the claws. Gravity's just a state of mind. Leave the expectations far behind. Concrete flowers blooming in the light. Wrestling the demons of the night.
I can hear the gravel cry underneath the purple sky.
Heavy metal, heavy soul. Losing every bit of self-control. We are moving like a tidal wave. Nothing left to lose or to say. Just a vibration in the spine. Cross the yellow double line.
Distant screaming in the low key. Finally feeling like I am free. Empty bottles and a full tank. Putting all the memories in the bank.
Rolling thunder in the steady hum. Waiting for the morning sun to come. We are moving like a tidal wave. Nothing left to lose or to say. Just a vibration in the spine. Cross the yellow double line.
Static fractures cross the scope. The voltage hammers through the bone. A sudden jerk of wire and pulse. Where consciousness is overgrown. The signal burn the jagged line. Through every silent hollow space. The tidal wave and static brine. To wash away a ghostly face.
Static cascades and frozen light. The system shatters the resets. We scavenge in the deep of night. For pieces of our lost regrets. The kinetic force begins to swell. A friction heat that will not fade. Breaking from the sterile shell. Where every single thought was made. The circus screams in velvet tones. A heavy pressure on the skin. To strip the marrow from the bones. And let the jagged current in. Ignite the engine of the soul. Let the high frequency take hold. A violent rush beyond control. In stories that were never told. The surge is rising in the dark. To tear the quiet world apart. A sudden blinding light or spark. Striking at the center heart.
Concrete shivers under heel. The frequency begins to shift. A spinning core of polished steel. Inside the technologic drift.
The phantom lamps begin to ache. In sync with every rapid beat. Waiting for the sky to break. And dump the fire on the street. The circus screams in velvet tones. A heavy pressure on the skin. To strip the marrow from the bones. And let the jagged current in. Ignite the engine of the soul. Let the high frequency take hold. A violent rush beyond control. In stories that were never cold. The surge is rising in the dark. To tear the quiet world apart. December.
Iron heartbeat pulsing through the floor. Hear me screaming, begging for the roar. Black and biscuit, rimming heavy grind. Leaving every ghost of you behind.
Metal friction, carving out a name. Swallowing the flicker of the flame. Burning rubber, asphalt for a bed. Fuel is all the gospel in my head. Tires fight the darkness with a snap. Walking through the center of the trap. Cylinders are chanting in a row. Nowhere left for honest men to go. Steel cold shadow sliding down the lane. Nothing but the pressure in my vein. No one gets to witness how I fade. Dancing on the blade the motor made. Thunder on your velvet heavy breath. Cheating every promise made to death. Steel cold shadow sliding down the lane. Nothing but the pressure in my vein. Fears are shifting, patterns in the dark. Searching for a holy kind of spark. Oil stained fingers gripping on the wheel. Truth is only found in spinning steel. Hollowed engine coughing up the night. Starving for a different kind of light. Broken silence shattered on the glide. Watching all the lonely cities pass. Gravity is just a heavy lie. Watch the red line kiss the hollow sky. Cylinders are chanted in a woe. Nowhere left for honest men to go. Steel cold shadow sliding down the lane. Nothing but the pressure in my vein. No one gets to witness how I fade. Dancing on the blade, the motor made. Thunder under velvet, heavy breath. Cheating every promise made to death. Steel cold shadow sliding down the lane. Nothing but the pressure in my vein. Steel cold shadow sliding down the lane. Nothing but the pressure in my vein. No one gets to witness how I fade. Dancing on the blade, the motor made. Thunder under velvet, heavy breath. Cheating every promise made to death. Steel cold shadow sliding down the lane. Nothing but the pressure in my vein.
The ignition gas forever beneath the matte black hood. I told the pavement I would leave this neighborhood. The cylinders are screaming like a choir of iron lungs. I speak the language of the silver-plated tongues. The tachometer dances on the edge of scarlet lines. I cut through shadows where the Lord of man declines. The pavement is a canvas for the friction and the heat. I paint with rubber masterpieces on love street. I am the ghost inside the heavy metal frame. A kinetic force without a face or even just a name. The asphalt is too heavy rotation I command. I grip my destiny within the palm of either hand. The pressure builds until the world's a blurred out haze. I'm burning through the hours and the nights and all the days. My heavy pulse is synced up to the movement of the gear. I case the horizon till the path ahead is clear. The manifold is glowing like a furnace in the dark. I wait to strike another crucial burning spark. Transpain is a sequence of a calculated strike. A phantom predator the world has never seen alike. The heavy torque is pulling at the fabric of the night. I break the tether, still I'm far beyond all sight. I am the ghost inside the heavy metal frame. A kinetic force without a face or even just a name. The S-modules to every heavy rotation I command. I grip my destiny within the palm of either hand. And there's a pressure
horizon, take the path ahead is clear.
The pistons push against the weight of all I've ever known. I built my movie kingdom on a high-octane throne. The friction is the only thing that proves that I'm alive. I push
Past every limit just to see if I'll survive. The pressure builds until the world's a blur haze. I'm burning through the hours and the nights and all the days. My heavy pulse is synced up to the movement of the gear. I chase the horizon, feel the night.